So let's get in our spots here and stand. So I try to start everything we do, every single show, no matter what it is. So we're here, coming up on that.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much for being with us on this Sunday afternoon. Forestville, Maryland, home of Bishop McNamara High School. Ken Marangolo, this First Amendment Sports. We are here to bring you the featured game of the week. That is Bishop McNamara Mustangs hosting the St. John's Cadets in a powerhouse girls basketball game. Join with me here by some special guests. We'll start all the way over here. James Wallace IV.
Thanks for having me.
They call him JW the Fourth. I don't know if they call him JW the Fourth. That's what we're calling him today. Coming over here, you know him, Darren McClendon. Step up here just a couple steps. There you go.
We get in here amongst these great, bright young men.
Marcus Goodley, how we doing today?
We're doing really good.
Two members of the sophomore class here at Bishop McNamara. At First Amendment Sports, what we do is we try to work with schools, and as you all know, because of this guy right here, we happen to be standing in one of the greatest high schools that this area has to offer. My fellow Mustangs, we're working on some video pieces to talk about kind of what's happening here in Forestville. I'm super excited. I'm going to start with you, Marcus. What are you guys doing here? What kind of content are you guys creating around these teams?
More specifically around the girls basketball team. We've been following them for a little over a month now. Filming and interviewing certain players, the star players of the team, the hearts of the team, finding out how they bond, how they work, and mainly just seeing the energy around them, seeing what makes them so good and what makes them such a great program and such great people to be around.
Well, why don't we get started then without any further ado? I love that Coach Oliver is all about this. If anyone should be on camera as often as possible, it's Frank Oliver. Let's get a look as the McNamara girls take the floor for the first time. Let's get a look at what's happening here at McNamara with Full Court Press. Frank Oliver, Episode 1.
All right, this is the Full Court Press with Coach Frank Oliver Jr. And on the press, this is where we get an opportunity to meet one of our Lady Mustangs. And with me here today is one of our favorite all-time Lady Mustang members, a 6'2" swing guard out of Washington, D.C., Madison Scott, number 24. How are you doing today, Madison?
I'm good, Coach. How are you?
I'm great.
Good.
I'm great. You play with an unbridled passion. Where does that competitive motor come from?
It just comes from wanting to be great and do big things. You know, I want to be able to give back to all the people who've given so much to me. So I play with passion, I play with energy, and I play with a lot of heart. You know, that's what drives me to, you know, make big plays and, you know, just be a good teammate.
Definitely, and you definitely play with that passion, and we love it here. And it's been, you've helped us shape this program over the last 4 years. Now, you had opportunity to play with Jakia Brown-Turner, who was a McDonald's All-American, who was a 4-year starter here. How has that helped you coming into your senior year?
It's helped me in so many ways. Jakia is a player of many great talents. She's talented, but she's great with her emotion and her demeanor. She's an overall great person, and she pushes me on the court whenever we work out, whenever we talk. She doesn't accept anything less, you know, of me. She holds me to a high standard, and that's honestly shaping me into the player I'm becoming. You know, and I can't thank her enough for that.
One student found out she was selected to the McDonald's All-American team.
How do you feel about being the second consecutive McDonald's All-American following Jakia Brown-Turner from last year?
It's truly a blessing, you know, and it just shows, you know, what you do and how you build this program. You make us great, Coach Oliver. It's years to come. You'll have McDonald's All-Americans every year with what you do. But I'm excited. I just can't wait to go out there and have fun and just, you know, put on a show and represent Bishop McNamara.
No, well, the whole state of Maryland, Bishop McNamara community, and all of us are really excited to see you play in that game in Houston, and you definitely earned it. And like I said, you put us in a position to be successful. And Madison Scott has been one of those building blocks. So you heard it here first. Madison Scott made the 2020 McDonald's All-American. You heard it here first on the Full Court Press with Frank Oliver Jr.
Great.
Stuff. We had a chance to see Madison grow up for this McNamara program, playing under some amazing players. You know, they talk about JBT, Aaliyah, so many great players come through in Coach Oliver's program. There's something to be said for what they bring, not just for themselves and the camaraderie that they have, but what they bring to the school in general. So you get to, you know, it's always fun when you got a good team on the floor, and it goes for any sport. We had it the same way. I was the second co-ed class, so we were just starting to get there. Wasn't until a few years later when the girls basketball team really started bringing it here. What have they added, for your experience here? How's it during the day when you see these guys walking around when they're carrying? They're like famous.
Well, seeing the girls basketball team, it makes the whole school excited to come to any game. We know that we are behind the girls basketball team. Hopefully they're going to bring home a championship, and that's what really gets the school excited. That's what gives our school spirit.
Now they have a lot of fun during the week, and I'm looking forward to seeing this video you guys put together because it really showcases kind of like a little bit of personality. When we see them, it's all business on the floor, but all throughout the week, there's a little more going on. You want to set this next one up for us?
Yes, sir. Can't wait. This one is about Call of Duty. Girls basketball team has great chemistry, and they use Call of Duty as a great way to form those bonds with each other.
All right, here we go. Full court press with Frank Oliver.
This is the Full Court Press with me, Coach Frank Oliver Jr. On the press, you get an opportunity to meet the players and go behind the scenes of our program here at Bishop McNamara. I developed my coaching style by watching and observing the late, great Hall of Fame DeMatha coaching legend, Morgan Wootten, who I played for in the late 90s. He taught me that it's important to know your players off the court as it is to know them on the court. He taught me that team building and bonding with your players is paramount. One thing that I observed my players doing this season that is kind of unique revolves around the very popular first-person shooter video game Call of Duty. My players religiously played this game before practices and contests, and the competitiveness is off the chain. So is the trash talking. So I thought I would go on a quest through my squad to get the answer to the question, who is the best at Call of Duty?
I have to give it to Hope.
Hope?
Yeah, I have to give it to Hope. She carries the team. Me.
You?
Yeah.
Why do you say you?
I'm the best. I mean, like, they can't beat me by myself.
Why Hope?
Because Hope just always, I don't know, she be out there shooting everybody. She be having the most skills. Her and two always go back and forth at it, so it's fun. It's good competition.
Who is the best at Call of Duty?
Leah Toucan.
Hope Evans says that she's the best and that she's beating everybody. What do you have to say about that?
Well, I had to tell you, that's a biased answer. First of all, she says she beat everybody, but has she told you she's lost to everybody as well?
Nobody's beat you. Who is the best at Call of Duty?
I think I am actually. I think I'm better than Hope and Two.
I would put Hope in my top two, but I would say that I'm number one on Call of Duty. So.
Okay, so you guys are, it's between one
Yeah. We're like Shaq and Kobe, but I'm Kobe. Yeah.
Gotcha. Leah Two said that she was like, it's like Shaq and Kobe.
Man, no.
Her and Hope is Shaq and Kobe,
Yeah.
and she's Kobe.
Nah, she's
she didn't even mention you. Like,
Shaq.
you're not even.
I know.
Who is the best at Call of Duty?
Me.
Why do you say you? You said that very quickly.
Because I am.
You got to do better. You got to do better.
Killed. 9 deaths. She's a liability.
So we put a tournament together. Who would come out on top?
Me.
Wow. Okay. And just looking at it overall, the game of Call of Duty, how has that helped the team bonding this year, and how has it helped you all develop chemistry on the court?
It's big because we can all play together. It's a game, even though it's on our devices, we're able to connect, in a different setting, different than basketball. So it allows us to, talk to each other, trash talk a little bit, just go closer together, and then it translates on the court.
Definitely, and we're going to definitely need that going down the stretch. Yes. So as you can see, my team definitely has a lot of personality and the desire to be the best, which will serve them in the game of basketball, but also in the game of life. I'm Frank Oliver Jr., and this has been Full Court Press.
Awesome. You guys, first of all, video games should be central to everything that we do. I think we should all agree on this. So anytime you can make video games more important to everything in general, kudos. Good job, guys. And by the way, when we were sitting here warming up, before we were sitting here, saw them over there in their spots, firing away. I'm like desperate to know who won today because I saw Leah 2 was talking serious trash to Hope Evans right in front of me. I'm like, I just saw the whole backstory on this. Hey, really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
JW.
Thank you.
Marcus.
Thank
Now, you guys are going to be hanging out with us. You're going to be seeing a whole lot more, not just of these two, but hopefully students from all over the WCAC contributing video content, production content, on-air talent. No one knows the league like the people from the league. My fellow Mustangs, we are from the league. Thank you guys so much. Hang out with us for a while.
Ken, we want to do a lot more of that, right?
We want to do tons more. We want to do more of this. We want to do this to be what we do the most.
And those were two very impressive videos. I want to commend you guys on that. And I want to let the listeners know and the viewers know that these young men are only sophomores.
Only
so there's
sophomores.
A lot more content, a lot more dynamic things.
We got them 2 more years. There's
Coming
no
soon.
one and done or
Exactly,
2 and done in the league. It's
very bright
4 years.
futures in these two guys.
Hey, thank you guys so much.
And
Appreciate
a big
you guys.
thanks to Mr. Holder right here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Big thanks to him.
Lou Holder leading the charge for Bishop McNamara and all this, the WMAC. As someone who used to do the morning announcements, I know you guys are taking it to a whole new level. I'm telling you, I'm putting a little bit of a bug in your ear now. I want to come on a Friday morning and be part of that somehow, some way.
Looking forward to it. Looking forward to it.
Like alumni day. We got to get that alumni soccer game back going.
We do. I'm looking forward to it.
Goalkeeper for the Mustangs, third baseman, maybe moving to second this year for the baseball team.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, we're going to see both you guys on the field, hopefully on First Amendment Sports Network. Appreciate you guys. Hang out with us. Hang out with us a little bit.
Multi-talented brothers right here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Great job. Great job.
We're gonna transition here. Let's see a little bit of these warm-ups. Talk a little bit about what we got. Talk a little bit about what we have happening here for. I guess for the next 2.5 hours, Darren. We got ourselves a powerhouse battle.
Yeah, they're starting to fill in. Anytime you hear in this area about a St. John's McNamara girls game, you know what to expect. As the fans start to pile in, and it's a big day. It's a senior day, not senior night, senior day.
So they played the other 2 games. They played a bunch of games yesterday. They freed up the gym for senior day. That's what we're going to start hearing, and we're going to start hearing them come out. We're going to keep the video on it, but I do want to talk a little bit about where we're at right now in the league. We got 1 week left, Darren, until we have ourselves a WCAC tournament. We have February 23rd, February 24th. American University, you'll be able to see it right here on First Amendment Sports. Please do us a favor and click on that subscribe button. It is free. You will get a notification when and where we are going live. Madison Scott is making her way through. Madison Scott, as you just saw in that video produced by these students, McDonald's All-American, that's the next part of the story, Darren. It's a big deal. First and foremost, it's a big deal.
It is, and she's the latest burger girl, is what they call them, the burger girl of McDonald's All-Americans. This program is very familiar with McDonald's All-Americans and high-level
Second
play
year in a row, we got one.
On the girls and the boys side. And, I know McNamara Nation, Mustang Nation is very proud of Miss Scott, as well as the other seniors and all the other players on this team. They continue year after year to give you stellar play, and they're ready for college when they get there.
Madison on her way to Ole Miss. Leah, too, I believe, going to
Pittsburgh, yep.
We got one undeclared still. I want to say Aaliyah hasn't necessarily, I don't think she's committed one way or the other. My guess is she can be able to go wherever she wants. We got Jayla Williams coming onto the floor.
I'll tell you what, while they're calling these young ladies out, the managers as well, everybody involved in the program, when you're a senior and you can come out with your parents, guardians, and celebrate 4 years that you've put in. A lot of these girls have been playing varsity since they were freshmen, and even if you weren't playing, or you've been in the basketball program for 4 years, and it's a great feeling for the family, for the parents, for the friends of the family, and everybody around these young ladies. This is a special time. I can't remember my senior night in high school. I can't even remember my senior night in college, but I'm sure I'm telling my age.
You're having a senior moment is what you're having. You
yeah,
can't remember anything.
Exactly. But it's a special time.
So
I know my mother remembers.
I think the WCAC had 2 McDonald's All-Americans. Madison on the girls' side and Jeremy Roach had to be the guy who got on the boys' side. I thought someone said we had two this year.
Yeah, Jeremy Roach and Maddie Scott.
Maddie Scott. WCAC representing, that's a big deal. Follow on the heels of JBT getting it last year for Coach Oliver. By the way, is Coach Oliver getting shorter? Every time I see him standing next to someone, I'm like, wait a second.
I think you're getting taller, Cam.
I think I might. Well, I know I'm getting taller.
Yeah.
You know I'm not finished growing yet, because I still got a mission in life. I will dunk in this gym, just so you guys know, JW and Marcus. I sat in here and watched Hakeem Penny, Keith Veeney, a couple of those guys getting it on here for student day. We just come in here and they do dunk contests for us. It's pretty amazing times here. So I'll be able to pull it off here eventually. I just know it. Give me another 10 years. 10 years of growing. McNamara and St. John's, we showed them 3 times last year, guys. They are by far basically what we got going on here is a number 1 versus number 2 in the hearts and minds of a lot of people in this area. They're not necessarily ranked there at the moment, but by the time we get to the finals of the WCAC Tournament, a lot of people are expecting to see these 2 teams play each other for the 3rd time. This is the 2nd meeting in the regular season. McNamara did take the first one, a little bit of a lower scoring game, and that was in St. John's gym. Last year was flip-flopped. We were here first. We were there second.
Right.
I think we went to overtime. Both of those games were super tight, and by the time we got to the final, first of all, got a lot of familiarity. That's the next thing I want to get to, Darren. Like we talk about so often on the boys' side in basketball and in football, we got these guys have been playing against each other for their whole lives.
Yes.
Rec ball, travel ball, club ball, select ball, AAU. They know each other. They play with each other. One of the things that I love the most is the smiles and the trash talking, because they love it. They don't back down from each other. Both of these teams have amazing athletes that play at a really high level, and they know each other's games. And
now, when you talk about familiarity, there's no other situation where opponents are more familiar with each other than these WCAC, especially the top half of the WCAC. They're going to play each other twice during the regular season. Then when they get to the tournament, they're going to play each other again, to raise that trophy. So, like you said, these girls, they know each other's games. They've seen it. But somehow we still get that excitement, and they still can't stop. There's some possessions where they cannot stop it. They know what's coming, but they can't stop it. That's how good these girls are. So the talent level is so high.
So we've talked about the McDonald's All-American on the McNamara side. We cannot talk about this game without talking about last year's Gatorade Player of the Year, AZ Fudd, coming back from St. John's. She had an injury she's been recovering from. She is back. We have seen her shot is as good as ever.
It's just her hard work, that how diligent she was in her rehab. She's back, no limp, and a lot of people thought she was going to take the whole season off, and she came back before many people, except for her parents, knew. And she's coming off a 43-point game, so she seems to be shaping back into form. And I know Coach White and Coach and all of McNamara's players are gearing up to try to stop that.
Well, it's that phenomenon in sports where everyone knows who the best player is or the best players are.
Right.
And there's multiple best players. AZ Fudd belongs in the conversation for best player no matter what, because she's proven it. And when a player like that goes missing for injury, there's this thing that happens in the minds of athletes. And you think, well, we got this because he's not playing, she's not playing. We got this. McNamara is a program that's good enough at this point in time where you remove an AZ Fudd from the opponent and McNamara is good enough to win. But to a woman, they will tell you that's not how they want it.
Right.
To be the best, you got to beat the best. And I think that to me is the coolest thing, to watch players like Madison Scott and Leah Two Kings, specifically say things like, hey, this is going to happen for us. This is who we wanted to be against. So that's a special kind of athlete. You don't want to be given anything, and you don't want to be. You don't want anyone to look back and say, "Yeah, but."
Right, and as you can remember, last year, Maddie Scott went out with a high ankle sprain. It was a foot injury or an ankle injury, and I remember she came back and she wasn't her 100% self, but her presence does a lot for her teammates. And if you have a superstar player, the teammates all build around that, and sometimes just the presence. Like what I'm saying, AZ Fudd may not be at 100%, but her being on that floor lifts the everybody else's level, and they get better as a team because of their presence.
That shot is back to 100% though.
Yeah, that doesn't go anywhere. That's like riding a bike. That doesn't go anywhere.
Shot is 100%. And when you talk about stamina, again, staying on the St. John's side, shout out to Coach Scribner and his whole staff. They do a great job year in and year out, and it's fun to watch the St. John's coaches and the McNamara coaches. Again, everyone knows each other. Everyone's been around this league, and we'll talk. We have a special thing from Frank and a bunch of folks here at McNamara. We'll get to it at halftime about Morgan Wootten that these guys did a video for. The league is intertwined, and that's the way we like it. And talking to James and Marcus specifically, as well as all of their classmates, I always say, and we always say when we get together, it's a league where you spend at least 4 years just beating each other up. And you know, hating a name and hating a game, but for the rest of your life, you're gonna run into these guys, you know, from every school that you play against. So all those guys that you played against in soccer and baseball and football and basketball, for the next 25, 30, 45, 50 years, you're gonna be running into them. You're gonna be meeting their wives, meeting their kids, and your families are, and it's all gonna come back full circle in a really cool way. And this is the kind of place where it starts in an awesome way.
And let me apologize real quick to the great coach Frank Oliver. I messed up. I said Frank Martin earlier. I'm still thinking about that South Carolina game against Tennessee yesterday. It was a barn burner. Frank Oliver.
There was some real good games yesterday, actually. Shout out to Maryland. Shout out to the St. John's community watching us. Your boy, Anthony Cowan, came down the stretch and got it done for the Maryland Terrapins in a major, major way. I want to say 3 threes at the very end with some free throws to ice it.
That was a big-time game in a big-time situation. So he's a big-time player. You know, things might not be going well for 20 minutes, and then you get down to butter popcorn time, and butter popcorn players step up. So he did a great job. I'm happy for him and the Maryland Terps.
Except he can't climb a ladder.
Exactly.
He can't climb a ladder, because he's not allowed, guys. You think I'm kidding around?
We're going to have to get our remote
Cal
mic.
was here.
We're going to have to get our remote
mic. We need
mic.
to get like one of or a cherry picker to lift him up, you know. When you're a big-time, you know, D1 player with a professional career, you don't climb any of these wall ladders, you know.
Yeah. He had to write that on his scholarship papers. Do not climb the McNamara steps.
You can't be climbing the McNamara ladders.
Production booth.
We got about 5 minutes to go before we get started in this game, and I want to bring back in Marcus and James, if I might. We kept him up here. We got Kevin Ricka going to be joining the telecast here by the time we tip off. And, of course, shout out to him and all the Rickas that are listening in today. We appreciate you guys. Before we let you guys get off the mic and this thing tips off, talk to us a little bit about what's happening in McNamara these days. Anyone can go first. What's the latest and greatest? I love coming down here and seeing it. There's always something new, always something fresh.
Okay, so as of February 20th, this Thursday, spring season starts. Everybody is excited for it.
I was just going to say that. I know you're looking forward to baseball season coming.
Our baseball team is a contender. Our softball team was a contender last season, lost to O'Connell in the semifinals. So we're looking to bounce back in that area. Baseball, like I said, definitely want to get back in the finals or in the semifinals and beat DeMatha hopefully this time. But other than that, this year is going to be a great competitive season. Our sports is definitely something that McNamara takes pride in, having all these great athletes, student athletes, as well as the academic side of things.
And shout out to Coach Sauce, we're calling him now?
Yes. Short for Sosnowski. I know that's a hard name to say.
But the fact that we can say Sauce, I can latch on to that. I'm just a big dumb guy. Podcast out of a basement. Coach Sauce, I can live with that.
Yeah, Sauce is so much easier to say.
Absolutely.
I love giving nicknames anyway, so Coach Sauce works for me.
Let me ask you, here's my question for you, Marcus. How's the food these days here?
Oh, the food is good. The food is really, really good. You always have the basic pizza and fries, the salad bar, but they always spice it up. They always spice it up. They always, one day they'll have ribs, and one day they'll have the fried chicken and mac and cheese, and they always just find a way to just spice it up.
Crush it. The lunch ladies from the mid-'90s took care of us. And pudding and fries. I was on the pudding and fries plan, and it was some Hunt's chocolate pudding and some fries with some ketchup and mayonnaise mixed together. That was the daily thing. And of course, where you guys have the the old place where we used to eat. Now it's got now it's the Hall of Fame, and they got that big walk-through cafeteria. And it was one line. It was about as big as this corner loft. You get you some pudding and some fries.
Oh yeah.
But now it's like I walked through there. There was like you said, there was a salad bar. I'm like, what's going on here?
Salad bar, sandwich bar. But I think the great thing about McNamara is, and a great man said this, as much as things change, they remain the same. And the thing that's remained the same here at McNamara is their support. People are always coming out to support every team, whether it's football, soccer, baseball, basketball. The students really come out, not just students, current students, but past students, past parents. They all come out to support the team. I think that's a really great thing that we have here at Bishop McNamara. It's a universal support. And we like to trash talk around the teams. Soccer team will trash talk, football team will trash talk. But we'll all come out and support each other at the end of the day, because we all do realize that we all go to McNamara. We all are Mustangs, and we all do support each other.
I love it. Hey.
No, that's good stuff. That's good stuff.
And Q, just shout out to Q real fast. Quinn Osborne, he's sitting down below us. He was our liaison all football season. I always want to make sure I get him. And Coach Vini better be here somewhere. We got to see. We're going to get Keith up in here. I love that because we talked about it this past week on our show on Tuesday nights. Maybe we'll get you guys on a call-in or some kind of a remote, because we do the WCAC Spectacular on Tuesday nights. Please check us out, Tuesday nights in the basement. If you subscribe, you get a free notification. It's a free subscription, and it helps support us and what we do here with the WCAC student sections. The coolest thing about high school and college is student sections. Like to what you said, it's the environment, it's the atmosphere. Let the NFL and the NBA, it's fun. You can pay your $150 for hot dogs and a ticket, but when you're in high school gym and college gym, but let's just talk about the high school gyms right now. It's the kids, the students, and the alumni, of course. You got to throw myself a little bit of a nod. When we come back, for us, it's maroon and gold all the way, and I love the student sections of the WCAC. So you guys, is there ever practices? Do you practice any for any big games in the student sections?
So I don't think we really practice. All impulsive. I know last year, especially for all the rivalry games, Zaga and St. John's, there's always some upperclassmen sitting in the front, and they're always getting everybody hyped and stuff like that. I think that's how hype.
That's so important. You have to have upperclassmen leadership in the student section. I didn't have the. When we were seniors, that was our job, and now we took it seriously, and I know that's the case all over the league. We're about to get ready to start it here. Kevin Ricka's making his way into the gym, I believe. We'll get him on the mics here. One more time, Marcus. Appreciate you. You guys stay hanging out with us. You don't gotta go nowhere.
It was an honor to be up here.
Get a good view of the game.
It's the best seat in the house, fellas.
Darren, we're about to get started here in a couple seconds. See Coach Scribner with us. He's all business at center court. Let me ask you a question. Madison Scott, where does she have to be hot early from?
That elbow area. That's her bread and butter right there. That's where she butters her bread, on those two elbows, that mid-range. She's been expanding her jump shot out to the three-point line, but where she gets her buckets a lot of times is that mid-range and hustling for offensive rebounds and putback. That's going to be the matchup to watch this afternoon. It's going to be Azy Bud, Maddie Scott.
I think is Azy going to guard her? I'll tell you what.
I know Maddie's going to guard her.
We'll go down to the PA prayer. Always better when a student does it. Always.
Wow.
And then someone just doesn't put on a record player of an old. That's amazing. I love it.
That's talent.
Anyway, the Carol Choir gave us a great one for the football game. Want to make sure we do some quick thank yous. I definitely want to thank Lou Holder again. Lou Holder just doing some great work here with the kids, and really a leader in the community and liaison between First Amendment Sports and Bishop McNamara. Want to thank Dr. Clark, Tony Johnson, Marty Keithline, Rob Chapman, and all the folks here. They're doing such a great thing. We talk about amazing facilities, amazing property, and amazing programs. Can't do it without men like that. We're going to do some starting lineup introductions, and we will get started here. As is always the case for McNamara St. John's girls, it is standing room only, and it's about to get electric when this thing kicks off. There's Coach Scribner there in the back right. AZ Fudd, reigning Gatorade Player of the Year.
Yes, and also shout out to AZ. She just received her 2,000 point ball on Friday.
2,000 point ball. Reminds me of a McNamara senior. 1,000 club for Leah 2 King on the way, right?
Yes, she's
closing in on it.
Yeah, she's closing in on 1,000 points, 1,000 rebounds in her career. That is an amazing stat.
Pitt's getting a good one. Well, the thing about Leah 2 is every time we've covered the team when she's been a part of it, the team has always been ahead. Her plus minus, in my mind, is through the roof.
Off the charts.
When she's on the floor, the team does better. She fills in all the nooks and crannies of the stat sheet. She can score, but she does everything else so well.
She doesn't take a second, a possession, a quarter off. She's never resting. She's always one of the hardest working, if not the hardest working girl on the floor.
It's hard for Coach Oliver because he's got so much talent. He's got so many players that deserve minutes. When she's not on the floor, I'm always like, Coach, what are you doing? Why is
she's
number 2
such
out
a
there?
strong player also. And when you have that kind of strength at this level and you play that hard, Coach Oliver, all he has to do is hope that she does not get into foul trouble because she plays so aggressively. And if I'm a referee, sometimes I give her the benefit of the doubt on some of those 50-50 balls just because of how hard she plays and how strong she is.
4 quarters, 8 minutes each. Things about to get underway here. McNamara in the gold jerseys, St. John's black jerseys.
Another chapter in the Mustang Cadet book. About to get started.
Last time they're going to meet before the tournament, Darren. And how much is the tournament, at this point in time with the tournament a week away, how much is it weighing in on things? I mean, McNamara has a chance to close out a killer regular season. Obviously, they want to win over the Cadets because they lost 3 times to them last year.
Absolutely, but like I said, these coaches are such high-level coaches, in Scribner and Oliver. They've seen each other so many times, just as the players have as well. But they're playing chess, Ken. I bet you Coach Oliver and Coach Scribner's not going to give you everything because you're going to have to see him again next week.
Shay Hayes, Maddie Scott, Leah 2 King, Leah Pitts, Hope Evans on the floor for McNamara, AZ Fudd. The cheers going on and threw me off for a second. Haley Beckham out there, AZ Fudd, Taylor Napper. I think that's Hermie Tornado. Hope Evans on possession. Mustangs with the ball to get things started as they work their way into the offense. Down low to Hope Evans. The self-proclaimed Call of Duty queen. Working on Tornado, Maddie Scott. Hits to Evan with the drive. Evans down low to King. Tough basket.
Very tough. A lot of teams now are going to that weave across the top. That's an easy way to swing the ball from side to side, which a lot of coaches want that ball moving from side to side before you attempt a shot. Make the defense work a little bit.
Corley to Fudd. Fudd working up top. She's deep 3 off the iron. Saved in. Hope Evans deep to Maddie Scott on the baseline. Gets AZ Fudd. Maddie Scott's going to draw the foul.
Aggressive play getting downhill by Madison Scott, getting AZ Fudd her first foul.
I know it's only a minute in here, Darren, but Hope Evans, she was operating inside and low. I mean, I know she has the ability to do whatever she wants, but last year we didn't see her kind of penetrating like that. That's going to be if she can do that all day long, that's going to be tough for St. John's to defend.
Well, that's the maturation of her game. I believe she's headed to the top of the state. Had a really good year as well.
Scott unable to connect. Fudd coming back for the Cadets. And there she is, Scott on Fudd, Darren, just like you said. Poorly from the corner, and that three is good.
You're going to see a lot of that. This season, AZ Fudd has been a little bit of a decoy at times because and like I said, her presence alone is going to elevate the level of that team.
Corley and Tornado both dangerous from deep. As is Pitts. King with the rebound, back to Pitts.
St. John's is going to have to do a great job of keeping McNamara off this glass because they go to the offensive glass relentlessly.
Evans and Tornado with a little bit of extracurriculars there. As Fudd works on Scott, she's at the foul line. Corley looks at three. Pitts is quick to double.
As you can see on
St.
both
John's
sides,
ball.
a little bit more of that weave action. They're trying to let players play in space because that's what basketball is turning towards, making players make plays in space. And that weave across the top allows each team to do that.
Napper and King working hard underneath. It's Tornado with a three on cue. Early 6-2 lead for the Cadets. Hope Evans out to Pitts. Shea Hayes, Maddie Scott. 6 on the shot clock. From the corner is Hayes. And that's good for three. McNamara answers are now down by 1. 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Fudd sets it up.
As you've seen on the last couple of possessions, the All-American on both sides have been the distributor and the playmaker. You know, they're going to draw all the attention. They're going to draw all the defense. But it just shows these are more than just teams. They're families, you know, and they feed off of each other, and they promote each other. And you can see in the passing and the movement of the ball. Everybody trusts everybody.
Taylor Gibson checking in for the Mustangs. Coach Oliver. Hits on Corley. Scott on Fudd. 4 on the shot clock from the corner. Corley doesn't draw iron, and that's going to be a shot clock violation. We actually had a good angle of that one. It was a little bit to the left there of the rim.
Someone opened the door on that one.
That's right. A little bit of pressure there. Madison Scott up top. Down the lane, she drives, kicks out to Taylor. Unable to connect on her first shot of the day. St. John's with the rebound, they'll work it back. And you're right. Fudd sets it up for him. Hits on Corley. We've seen that. Now Fudd's drawn Vaughn. Doubled by Scott. Tornado from deep. 10 on the shot clock. Drives in. Napper. King thought she got a clean block. Contact. St. John's goes to the line.
I'm sure both coaches are trying to make a valiant effort of penetrating and getting into that paint. They've been able to get downhill and get a couple foul calls.
A little strong on the first one, still a 1-point game with 4:15 to go.
You definitely can't get those calls, Ken, fading away from the basket or staying out on the perimeter. The only way you're going to get the other team in foul trouble, especially the aggressive players, are taking it to the hole and going towards the basket.
I wish we had a camera on the calisthenics it just took for Kevin Ricca to make it up this ladder. McNamara ball leads, stays at 1. Taylor Gibson inbound to Yanta Vaughn. She works on Fudd. Vaughn gets across the timeline all the way deep to Pitts. And she gets fouled. It's either going to be on Corley or Napper. I got that on Corley. I could be wrong on that. Nope, it's going to be on Thomas.
That was a
Pitts going for
great
2.
diagonal pass over the top by you. When you're facing a press like that, a three-quarter press, especially if it's a 1-3-1, that diagonal pass over the top, you've only got a single defender on that back line. It'll be open. Fine.
Pitts super comfortable at the line. Puts the Mustangs in front with 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. Madison picking Fudd up full court. Vaughn on Terraneta. She likes to shoot it from deep. Gibson. Fudd with just an amazing looking three-point stroke. Cadets retake the lead. Not much you can do about that.
I'll tell you what, the full court press that McNamara puts on St. John's, sometimes they're aggressive with it, trying to get steals up front, but sometimes they're just staying in front of you, making you work to get down the court, and that wears on your legs as the game goes along.
King looks inside for Scott, who bumps it back out to Pitts. Working it around now. Yanta Vaughn open for a 3. Too strong. Underneath for Pitts. Maybe she went up too early. Is that King working down low? They're going to get her for a travel. And it's not for lack of hustle or effort, though. I'll tell you what. Kevin, what do you think about what you're seeing so far?
All I know is you walk into the gym and the ball finds Leah Two King. Isn't that something? You know, I walk right in here, whether it's a loose ball or a rebound. Seems like those loose balls and rebounds stand in line to join her company.
And they didn't convert right there, but if I'm Coach Scribner, I am worried about all these offensive rebounds that McNamara is getting on every possession.
Corley from deep. Rebound goes to St. John's. Napper takes it back up, tries to draw the contact. Gibson with pushing it back up to Yanta Vaughn. Gibson likes the 3, but she's going to hold it. Scott underneath the King. Pitts gets underneath. Little off balance. Corley trapped. Cadet offense going through Fudd. Gets it to Napper. Great looking pass. Back to the freshman, Delaney Thomas.
There's another one of those pitcher heads. Those are very, very productive passes because it puts pressure on the defense to get all the way back. And anytime you can, there's another one. Anytime you can score before the defense gets set,
AZ
I know Coach
Fudd,
Scribner's loving that.
We said it already twice. We should continue saying it. Scribner is clearly making it a point. The Cadet offense is running through AZ Fudd. She's bringing it up. She's making really good looking passes. We got a timeout on the floor. McNamara calls a 30-second timeout. Kevin, AZ Fudd has always had the shot. She's been able to score at will, but her ability to distribute and essentially be the focal point for Scribner's offense, I mean, it's not fair that she's as good as doing that as she is. But I think we're gonna see that all day long.
Jab step, feathery 3 from the top of the key drops early. As soon as I get to the top of the crow's nest up here, it's like, you know, everything's right in the world. A big, huge week for AZ Fudd, guys. Coming off a 43-point outburst at O'Connell. I'm sure you guys were talking about it. By the way, you guys sounded great on the pregame and during the intros.
Yes.
But 2,000 points for the young lady this early in her junior season. I mean, are we talking about possibly getting to 3 here against the top competition in the world? I love watching this. Hey,
how is it not going to be 3,000?
They don't pick up hitchhikers like they used to, Ken. It took me a while to get in here. This place is jam-packed. The parking lot is all the way out to Upper Marlboro Pike. It's nuts in here.
I love it. Yanta Vaughn setting things up for the Mustangs. I don't think Pitts has come out yet. There she is for 3. And I'll tell you what, she's looked comfortable no matter where she's had the ball so far. The only time she has looked a little uncomfortable, she had a quick pass underneath, which was a little bit off balance. But for the most part, she's got a relationship going on with the nylon right now.
She's been shooting the ball at a high level, especially recently this season.
Fudd just always able to get the ball down low.
She's slicing and dicing with the passing game right now.
And she's the first one to run over and help her teammate up.
McNamara foul, number 32, Taylor Gibson, her first, team second.
I'll tell you what, while AZ is working herself back into physical form, now is the time, like you said, Scrib can put her at the point work on her leadership and playmaking and facilitating game that she already has, but
4-point game for the Cadets. First quarter, about a minute and a half to go.
it's fortunate enough to have that as an option.
Oh, yeah, a brilliant basketball mind at the one.
Three-pointer,
Oh,
deep for Shay Hayes, the senior on senior day. Terraneta pushing it. She's going to have some options here. She's going to go off the front of the rim. Napper with the offensive rebound, blocked by Leah Tu King. Yontavon going back the other way. St. John's is back, though. Good job getting back on defense for the Cadets. Pitts looked at it for a second. And I tell you what, AZ Fudd, along with everything else she's doing, she's got incredibly busy hands on defense, but so does Shay Hayes. Madison Scott from point blank. Mustangs take a 1-point lead. Now we're under a minute to go in the first quarter. Is Fudd looking to push.
and this is the pace the Mustangs want it. Frantic, frenzied.
Doubling Fudd near the timeline. Madison Scott trying to deny her the ball just by staying as close as possible.
When a team is trapping you like that, way out by half court, once you get it out of that trap, what you don't want to do is hold on to the basketball. Get that thing moving, and try to find the open teammate.
There was a grown woman move right there.
Delaney Thomas pushing down, backing the defense down. Yanta Vaughn from deep. 18 seconds to go in the first quarter. Cadets up by 1.
Even though that last shot didn't go down, it was all the way in and out.
Yep.
It'll be interesting to see if Scribb stays in this zone defense if McNamara is shooting the lights out.
What a look.
Good if it goes. St. John's, after one quarter, up 18-15. The pace got a little bit more frenetic there as the quarter came to an end. The difference in the first quarter, to me, is pretty obvious. Classy passing by AZ Fudd. Twice she disrupted passing lanes. She made a few shots, and her and Napper had the connection. Napper had what she wanted. I kind of got a sense that Leah, too, is trying to avoid getting in foul trouble early. We've seen that happen to her, with her when we've covered games. So maybe not being as physical with Delaney there on what we were calling on the blocks here this last play. Tight game, just the way you want to see it here on a Sunday afternoon in the WCAC.
A little bit different than the round one between these two. At the end of the first quarter in round one, it's a 10-2 St. John's lead. In the second quarter, McNamara goes on a 15-3 run. We're looking at a 17-13 halftime score. What we've noticed so far is it's not going to be the same today as it was back then. And what stands out here is the speed and athleticism of the McNamara Mustang. That full court press has been a thorn in St. John's side over the years. And like you guys talked about, it's going to wear you down. It's to be that annoyance, that pest. It doesn't have to be the full pressure. It's just to give AZ Fudd a little more to think about and chew on before she gets the ball across half court. But man, right now she's on fire. She's seeing everything.
Yeah, no foul trouble for either squad at this point in time. So that's not going to be a problem for either team. In the first half, at some point in time at this pace, it becomes a battle of the benches. Frank Oliver and Coach Scribner will be happy to, they can both go deep. They both have the ability to do it. St. John's going to start the second quarter with the ball up 3.
One thing I know that both teams are keeping their eye on is the pace and the tempo of this game. McNamara is not going to slow down.
AZ and Taylor for St. John's are getting a breather to get things off as Terranero draws contact, and she'll go to the line.
Strong drive right there by Terranero.
Yeah, great move by the senior. And you're looking at the foul situation that we have to discuss. Madison Scott getting to the free throw line for the Mustangs today is a must. And if she gets her double-digit free throws like she did in round one, makes 70% of them, I think that's a big, huge deal for McNamara getting on top of it by the end of this. So I look forward to watching the McDonald's All-American, Jordan Brand, recently named superstar, number 13 player in the country. What a matchup we got.
Oh, yeah. 4-point game.
Every time AZ Fudd and Maddie Scott are squaring up one-on-one, it is must-watch. Streamed, First Amendment Sports TV.
Sanaya Ja, the freshman, we saw her down in Glen Arden. She's having a really good freshman campaign.
Yes,
she gets her first.
Very high on that young lady.
So is the rest of the country. One of the top 20 freshmen ranked in the nation.
Hope Evans looking to set things up. St. John's not going to let you get inside on them. Guarding that lane well. Back out Three-pointer for Shea.
That's great offense, though.
It is. It's going to be important for McNamara to get the ball into Maddie Scott around that free throw line area.
Corley pulls up for three. Too strong. Rebound to
make
Shea
a play
Hayes.
either for herself or her teammates.
Hope Evans looking to push. Trying to get on the same page with the freshman. Ja intercepted, but she gets it back. Corley, good hands. A little bit of freshman jitters there. Big game, big moment. Pitts is going to give Maddie Scott a break. And you talk to McNamara folks, number 3, Aaliyah Pitts, she's got a heck of a future. She's had a great season, and she's been a calming force so far in this game for the Mustangs. There she is for 3. Good looking shot. Good rebound for the Mustangs. Reset with Hope.
I'll tell you what, they're kind of daring Hope Evans to shoot that shot at the top of the key. I know she's taking a close look at their basket. Let's see if she hoists one up here shortly.
Sinai gets it into Leah 2. Out to Shea. She works the baseline. Leah 2 gets the pass, but it's going to be an offensive foul.
It's all execution right now. McNamara is running tremendous offense. You saw the ball did not stick anywhere. They went back and forth both ways, moved the ball across, making the defense work. And now you see what happens. They get the open shots. They just got to finish. They're running good sets right now. Coach Oliver's got to be happy with that. The ball's just got to fall.
St. John's brings back in Fudd and Napper. Even though it's only been a minute of time on the floor, I know the Mustangs would have liked to have just gotten a little bit more out of that minute when Fudd and Napper were off the floor. Hope Evans causing problems for Terranado.
Her on-ball defense has been ferocious for years.
That is where she's a difference maker, Kev.
Terranado has got the
Amongst
height
other
on her.
things, but that's her call of duty.
And there's the immediate double to AZ. Clearly, it's going to be what Mustangs do all day, try to get the ball out of her hands. Corley driving the lane, and she gets blocked by Leah 2 King. Hope Evans back the other way, pushes it forward to Leah Pitts.
What a recovery by Leah 2.
Inside of the freshman. We're going to have a tie-up between Napper and Ja. Arrow's going to stay with the Mustangs. 5.5 to go in the first half, 2-point game. Crowd starting to get into it.
It's fiery in here, isn't it?
It's fun.
I like it. Coaches are on, casual Sunday gear. No one's too dressed up. Everyone knows it's about to be a battle.
The theme today is Sunday's best. You got 2 of the best coaches in the country. Easy like Sunday afternoon.
Back out to Aaliyah. She's eyes down at 3. Deonta Vaughn looking to reset up top. 13 on the shot clock.
I'll tell you what, that top of the key jump shot is open.
Hope Evans for 3. Leah 2 with the rebound. Reset shot clock. Like you said, Darren, offensive rebounds, Mustangs got to capitalize more than they have so far this game, but they have been able to get some.
Yeah, well, that was a killer. They got the ball left in Hope Evans' hands. Coach is saying, go ahead and shoot it. They get the miss, and they can't recover.
Hope Evans for 3, off the front of the rim. Taylor Napper with the rebound. Strong for the Cadets.
That's one thing about a zone defense. You have to make sure you find a body and box out because you're not.
Yeah, easier said than done, too, right? It's a field thing.
I know.
Oh,
Terranado with the 3, and that's going to make McNamara pay. If you want to double Fudd and leave her open, she's going to make that shot.
Just like she did 1 year ago on this court when she had 3 big second-half threes.
5-point game, just over 4 minutes to go in the first half. Deonta Vaughn over to Hope Evans. 2 guards into Madison Scott. Hope Evans for 3. Unable to connect. Ball will stay McNamara, Leah 2, and Napper battling down low all day.
When you have a superstar in the middle there against that zone that can jump up, catch that pass in the air, and redirect it to the wide-open shooter, what a weapon. You can run your offense from the inside out. Eventually, one of these threes is going down by Hope.
And Maddie will keep passing it. She has the ultimate confidence in her teammates.
20 on the shot clock. McNamara looking to set things up. Attack that cadet zone. Yontavon for three. Rebound, Fudd. And there's a double on her.
What a look.
Great pass underneath.
That's just too
Napper.
good.
Those two guys, Napper and Fudd, if they can't solve, if McNamara can't solve that, it's going to be a long day as the Cadets are now up 7.
With this zone dictating the pace in St. John's favor.
Madison
What a
Scott
play.
gets the rebound and stops the bleeding. 5-point game. Fudd for three. And that's just how a shooter makes it.
That's the quickest draw in the East right there.
Yep.
Goodness gracious.
You do not challenge her to a duel in Old Tombstone.
I tell you what, she has about 5 or 6 assists right now. They list her at 5'11", but she's looking like a
Shea
Penny
Hayes
Hardaway or Grant Hill type point guard.
answers for 12, answers for three. Number 12.
Anything
on
you can
senior
do.
day. Got a call from the backside ref on Madison Scott, who strenuously objects to the call.
You've got to love this atmosphere. You've got to love it.
You can feel the pulse of the crowd when those two are going at it one-on-one. That buzz starts up. Everyone can't wait to see what's going to happen next.
Absolutely.
Well, they let Scott go one-on-one on defense. They didn't double Fudd that time, and Fudd saw it and drove. Corley to Fudd in the corner for three.
Jab.
Bond
Can't give
can't get
her
her
room.
head up. Good shot, good rebound. Taylor Gibson pushes it up to Leah Pitts. She looks to spot up. She'll draw the foul, go to the line in a 5-point game. To see the recognition, you know, that's the other next level stuff in this conference. Players recognize right away what's going on in front of them. As soon as Fudd knows she's not going to get doubled, what does she do? She goes straight for the hoop.
She's been in attack mode for a very long
Oh
time.
yes, oh yes. And if you double her, she's happy to pass because she knows her teammates are going to make the shots.
I got to give these referees a lot of credit because it's easy to become a fan and just start watching this high-level play. They're on these calls.
3-point game. Madison Scott on Fudd. Right now, singled up. Hayes on Terranado. Scott stays one-on-one.
A little elbow ISO action.
There's the double, and there's Pitts. She's ahead of the defense. Fudd's getting back, and they will get Fudd on the foul, and she strenuously objects. But that will send Pitts to the line, where I believe, guys, Pitts has been perfect today.
That is a big call, Ken. That is AZ Fudd's second foul. I believe she just ran past, but he called the swipe down.
Yeah, the St.
Yeah,
John's
the
corner
motion.
was not a big fan of that, and it was a tad bit late, as we saw.
Oh, yeah. She's such a smart player, though. I don't think Scribner's worried with 2 fouls. Maybe you want to protect her a little bit, but you also want to give her a break here at some point anyways. Pitts calmly puts the first one in.
This shooting motion is stone cold.
Yeah. St. John's holding it on to a tight lead.
And that's picture perfect.
If you're Scribner, do you take her out right now?
I don't think so, no. And he won't.
I'm going with Ken. He trusts the wily veteran in this situation, and I don't think she'll be in a man-to-man situation with the score. They'll stick in that zone and try and protect her that way.
And Kevin, I don't believe Pitts is committed yet. She's one of the better players in the area who hasn't yet said where she's going. As Jay Tillman works for St. John's. There's Terranado working on Hayes, and now you got Fudd and Scott. Doubled right away, Terranado for 3, the left-hand 3, and that's nothing but the bottom of the net.
Assist.
Taylor
number
Gibson.
7,
Yes.
if my count is
Yes.
right. Draw the double team. Simple basketball. Draw the double team, kick to the open teammate.
Maddie Scott takes it away, and she'll draw the foul. I'll tell you what, they let him play. The whistles are deep in the guts of the referees right now.
I tell you what, I like that.
Delaney Thomas fighting hard. I believe that was Delaney Thomas fighting hard. I think Jay Tillman was down there also for St. John's. As you had Madison Scott, Aaliyah Pitts, Taylor Gibson fighting for the ball. And I'll tell you what, that was the most contact I've seen without a whistle in a game like this. And if that's the way it's going to be, let that be the way it's going to be. The one thing we've seen is
two emotional players.
Consistency by the referees. That's what we'll look for.
They were fighting for the ball, but I don't think either one fouled each other.
And these guys aren't familiar with refereeing a wrestling match either, so they just let them play on.
Let them play.
Absolutely.
4-point game, just over a minute to go in the first half. Cadets with the lead. Corley with the drive. Dish to Taylor Napper.
Woo!
Napper's having a big-time day already.
Nice driving dish right there.
St. John's has assisted on about 90% of their offensive possessions. The only ones that we haven't seen here are pull-ups by AZ Fudd.
That's the easiest 2 points Napper can get, unless she's receiving it from AZ Fudd.
Yontavon and Pitts playing a little two-man game. Pitts for three.
Catch and
With
shoot,
the
no
answer.
problem.
Big time corner J.
3-point game. 35 to go in the half. Fudd working on Scott. Hayes on Terranado. Pitts on Corley. Back to Fudd. 10 to go in the shot clock. Scott playing her straight up, looking for a pick from Napper. Corner three for Corley. Over the back. It's going to send Jay Tillman to the line. St. John's does such a good job of getting to the line in exactly that call. Position. It's all about position and for that.
I'll tell you what. I usually don't like bounce passes around the perimeter, but that's the only angle that AZ Fudd has to get the ball to her teammates because there's so many arms and hands in there trying to contest her passes when she penetrates. She draws so much attention.
Jay Tillman thought she was going to the line. Corley to inbound. Shot clock off. 11 to go in the half. There's a steal from Pitts. Driving, Maddie Scott. Unable to connect. Hayes to Vaughn for three. That's the end of the first half, guys. 3-point game.
And there's a situation like I was talking about. Around the perimeter, bounce passes sometimes take too long. And when you've got these kind of athletes shooting gaps like that, a lot of times they'll turn into turnovers. But the Mustangs got one right there. But when she penetrates into the paint and kicks it out, those are good passes.
The anticipation when they run the double at AZ Fudd. AZ Fudd goes to make the quick pass, but the anticipation by Pitts on the rotation gets them the steal, and all of St. John's cheering section just held their breath because there's a 2-on-1 fast break, and AZ's got 2 fouls down there. She smartly stayed out of trouble and on the rebound, but I know everyone was down there holding their heads.
Just, for a shooter to gather yourself for just that extra half second with the clock winding down in the first half, Madison Scott couldn't get the easy one. We say it's easy. It's easy for us to say, I guess. To close out the first half. Cadets up 3. I'll give you Aaliyah Pitts from McNamara. I'll give you AZ Fudd from St. John's. And I think, Kevin, come back in the second half. Again, I don't think anyone's in foul trouble at this point in time as we get a shot at Vinnie Moore in there at holding court, at midcourt.
That's exactly what he's doing.
He is.
Nailed it.
He is, absolutely is. All right, I tell you what. We did come here, and we have still with us here JW4.
I'm here.
James Wallace. Let me put you a little bit closer in there. All right, now we got another video we want to run, and this one feels good. This is a feel-good video we got from the McNamara students and the McNamara community as a whole. I'm excited to talk a little bit about this one with you. Because you already said it when we were talking in the pregame. You said the words, beat the math. I know as a baseball player, especially the way that season ended for you, there's no team you would rather take it to than the Stags.
It's going to feel good.
And that kind of led me into what we talked about right before we tipped off, which was the idea that in this conference, you bang up against these guys and gals all 4 years that you're here, and then you spend the rest of your life realizing how much we all love each other.
Yeah.
And that's never been more apparent than the last few weeks, the last few months. And Morgan Wootten, of course, the legendary coach at DeMatha, passed away. He leaves a legacy that just is just so much bigger than the footprint of the DeMatha High School. We say it in the basement, Morgan Wootten is forever. I mean, that's the way I think about it. Everything about him will live absolutely forever. Talk to us a little bit about the idea behind what you guys did here.
Well, what Coach Wootten did didn't just resonate in DeMatha. I think it resonated all across the whole conference as a whole. Everybody knew about it. It's not like I said, it's not like it just resonated inside of DeMatha. It was heartfelt with everybody, especially with Coach Oliver. That was his high school coach. That was his Brock, his A1 day one. They were close, and he felt it. And I know he felt this. That's what helped him be great.
Yep.
And just to have him transition like this is felt by everybody. Very
So
heartfelt.
you guys went around with your crew and your camera, and you got a whole bunch of stuff. Why don't we go to that?
Alrighty.
We got
The
tribute
Bishop
to Morgan
McNamara
Wootten.
community honors the life and legacy of one of the greatest ambassadors the Washington Catholic Athletic Conference has ever known, Hall of Fame DeMatha basketball coach Morgan Wootten.
Some of the McNamara staff who have ties to DeMatha share the following thoughts about Coach Wootten and prayers for the school community.
I had the honor of playing for Coach Wootten from 1994 to 1996, my junior and senior years. We were 1996 WCAC champions. And like I said, Coach Wootten was just a great mentor, father figure, an example of what a man should be. And he really exemplified living your life in faith, honor, humility, and he just was an outstanding person. And I learned so much from him. I patterned my coaching after him. He's just been an awesome role model for me.
Great coach. I didn't actually play basketball there. I did go to several games. He was just legendary the whole time I was there, and then continued to be so after I left as well.
Coach Wootten was a pillar of the community. I never had him as a teacher. I believe my brother 15 years prior did. But he was just an example of who to grow up to be.
Coach Wootten is one of my coaching idols. I got to watch him growing up, watch him while I was managing, learned a lot from him. Learned a lot about consistency, keeping yourself in the game and being focused. He wasn't someone who was going to get up and be constantly yelling at his players. He was going to meet his players where they were. He was going to get to know them, build relationships, and really help them both on and off the court. And for me as a coach, that's something that's really inspiring, to make sure that I get to know my student athletes in the classroom, on the field, and outside of the school, and really to help them develop not just their skills in lacrosse, but to develop their skills in life. And that was a big part of Coach Wooten's legacy.
So I wasn't a basketball player, and my fondest memory of Coach Wootten was I wasn't a basketball player, but we still had many good conversations in the hallway. He's a really wonderful man and a really inspiring leader. I could see his impact on all my friends who played for him, and just time that he would still take time to talk to me, even though I wasn't a player on his team, still meant a lot to me.
What a blessing it was to have a mentor, a role model. So many people there that were mentors and role models, but Morgan Wootten was a big one. All of us knew that any life decisions, career decisions, guidance, we would go to Morgan Wootten for that. As much as he was known for being a great basketball coach and winning the 33 titles that he won and sending hundreds of kids to college on scholarships, he was really just an even better human being, person, man, Catholic, husband, father, role model. And he's made a contribution to the world that we as Catholic educators aspire to.
A loss for any of us in the Catholic school community is a loss, especially with someone as great as Coach Wootten. But I would just say that I continue to be just inspired still as I look at the impact he had on people I know and see the great work he's doing and how that continues today.
Morgan Wootten established a culture of expectation, and he led with a leadership example that needs to continue to be emulated. So my heart goes out to my family and friends at DeMatha, to the Wootten family and their friends, extended family, to the world that Morgan Wootten has impacted. But also let's hold on to the great memories, because Morgan truly made a difference in the world.
All of our prayers and condolences to the Wootten family, to Kathy, his wife, and to all of his children and grandchildren. We definitely send our sincere condolences from Bishop McNamara to DeMatha.
Professor Shyrock. It's one thing to be from DeMatha. We won't hold that against him. But there was a Cowboys paraphernalia on that shelf. That's 2 strikes. we got to be real careful. We got a lot of McNamara and DeMatha in the same family, but then you put that Dallas Cowboys in the same thing. Let's make that the project for all of us to work on together. All right. We always used to say these guys. I mean, it's just fun to see so many guys from in the league. I know we got some Gonzaga people here too. I know some of the teachers I had have made their way around to the Gonzagas and the good councils also. So before I get you guys out of here for a half, we got 2 minutes to go. What do you guys think of the game so far?
I think it's great. Very competitive, very, very competitive. But of course, I went back.
Of course you. You're feeling a little bit knots in your stomach.
Yeah, but I have faith in the team. I feel like they'll be the ones who will come out on top. I feel like once they get all the kinks out. I know that they're a little nervous probably. A lot of people here to see them, but I feel like once they get themselves under control, things will start to turn out in their favor.
It is a long ways from over. A 3-point game with teams this good. And I'll tell you, I don't think they're that nervous, JW. I got to be honest.
I am up here.
We're way more nervous than they are. They're in their world.
Yeah.
They can handle this no problem. How many times you come to a McNamara game and it's like this?
Every time.
Every time. Okay.
Every single time. Come to a match. Especially basketball, women's basketball. It's like there's a lot of love for them for all athletes. A lot of love for them. You may come to class and your teacher may say, "Well, how'd the game go?" And you got to explain to them, "Well, it went good or it went bad."
Do you get any extra credit or days off, tests or homework
it would be beautiful.
if we get wins?
It would be amazing, but no.
Let's start that push. That's something else we can work on together. We get a championship. If the girls win a championship, that should be like
a day off.
Hell, that might be greedy. That might be a little bit greedy.
I think the teacher would support that too. Yeah,
so they got to come. They'll be. What if it's a day off, but coming in maybe a service day? I don't know. Turning around into something good. I'm not trying to put you all to work, but a day out of the classroom is a good day.
It is. Anything off.
All right, guys. Well, we will. You guys aren't going nowhere. You hang out with us here. We're going to be looking down to the floor. We're going to bring back in Darren. Bring back in Kevin. We had an amazing first half, guys. Just the kind we've been hoping for. Just the kind we've been looking forward to. We've seen these teams play each other. This is now the 4th time you've seen them play on First Amendment Sports. It's going to be close to the very end. We got some stats?
Yeah, on the McNamara side, we have Pitts with 11. Leah, who has 2 points, but more importantly, she has 3 blocks. Been a rim protector down there for the Mustangs. Shay Hayes has 9 on 3 threes. Maddie Scott with 5 and Hope Evans with 2. On the St. John's side, Napper with 7. Karamina with 10. AZ Fudd, drawing all the attention, has 2 threes. She has 6 points, but more importantly, she has 7 assists. She's slicing and dicing out there.
That's amazing. The 7 assist number is so amazing.
And a lot of them are so pretty to look at.
Well, we actually had a really awesome angle, one from the corner. I mean, she's throwing, Tom Brady passes. She's leading her teammate into a spot where her teammate can shoot from. It's next level stuff.
I mean, aside from risking life and limb to get up to where we're perched, it is the best spot in the house, man. We get to see all of this. I was hanging on for dear life mid-first quarter. No one looked over here for any help, by the way. So you guys at halftime have 0 assists on the stat sheet.
Dude, there's nothing we can do. We can't help you. You're just out of reach. And by the way, if anyone's watching, I want to know if there's any cell phone video or pictures, or even if you just saw Kevin climbing and you want to give a first-person account, we'll take any of it, any and all of it, because it was amazing. That was butter popcorn time there when Kevin was climbing the ladder. That was butter popcorn time.
Please post it so I can retweet that.
I felt like I was so sneaky and smooth on it, but
it was like Kung Fu Panda.
But the eye in the sky doesn't lie, so we'll see what we can come up with here.
And we can't talk about Morgan Wootten in our.
You just Kung Fu Panda me? It's about to be a block charge situation.
Our brother in arms, Tim Strachan, of course, played for Morgan Wootten. And he's been, just an awesome guy to talk to about his experiences with the coach and his DeMatha experience. Shout out to T. Can't wait to see you on Tuesday night at the Avenue on Connecticut Avenue. We appreciate the Avenue is going to be our official watch party restaurant. Take the family, take the kids, meet up with your alumni brethren, and watch the WCAC Tournament live from American University. from a table or a bar stool. They got one of the best burgers in town.
I've heard a lot about the burger.
The burger's good. It's real good.
Anticipate the burger.
Check them out. They are a place where people gather to talk about the WCAC. Let it also be a place to gather and watch it, guys.
Well, both teams were out there getting a lot of shots up during halftime. Usually, when you got two top teams matched up, they spend a lot of time chessing it up back in the locker rooms. But they were both teams were out early, getting a lot of shots. But hey, we've had 61 points in the first half. That's a lot more. The pace is much higher than the first time about.
And you tell me what you think, but I think this is a shooter's atmosphere. These rims are soft. The court is bright. I like the light color. It just has that feel. Every time a three goes up, you feel like it's going down with these ladies.
Forley, Fudd, Terranado, Thomas, Napper, in for the Cadets. Pitts, King, Scott, Evans. Looks like Vaughn's going to start out here for Coach Oliver.
And if St. John's is going to sit back in that 2 zone, I know Coach Oliver is saying, you know what, just keep taking them if they're open, keep taking them with confidence.
And Shea Hayes is going to check in, and Vaughn's going to sit out the beginning of this quarter.
And this is the number 11 ranked team in the nation right now, playing at an extremely high level. They're not used to any losses. All their losses are to top ranked teams. We'll see what happens here in the second half.
Hayes on Corley.
I'll tell you what never changes is Hope Evans' relentless pressure on the ball handler.
Fudd from deep, nothing but buckets. Quick three for the Cadets.
Kev, I was just watching in the halftime warm-up. She drained 11 of them from that very same spot in a row.
She knew exactly what she was about to get to right then and there. But that release it's so lightning quick. I love watching it. The rotation on the ball is perfection.
Hope Evans on the drive. Pitch from the corner. And she answers with
There's
a
another
three for
dead
the
eye.
Mustangs. She's having a big day, guys.
Her shot-making abilities through the roof today. A pure scorer, pure shooter as well.
Yeah, she's got that poker face, too. She's just stoic.
No hesitation whatsoever. That pass hit the shooting pad, and it was up and in before anyone knew what happened.
And the shooter that I am, you know, I can appreciate that follow-through.
But the shooter that you are.
You got a little tear in your eye, man. Hang in there.
Oh, my goodness.
Shooter you are. I'm surprised I heard you talking about how you like the refs. Giving the refs dab.
They're watching the line. I want to make sure I get all 3 of my points.
Terranado with a subtle elbow. Hope Evans doesn't push her too far away. Madison Scott working on AZ Fudd. Corley on the baseline. And they're going to get her for a travel.
That defense just causes chaos. You know, St. John's gets out of rhythm. AZ's got to give it up to the corner. Whether it's a steal or a turnover, it's coming back.
That's the sign of, you're right, Kev, that's the sign of a really good defensive team. Sometimes they'll get a steal early. Sometimes they'll get a shot clock violation. Sometimes they'll get a turnover late. They're patient and they're disciplined in their defensive pressure.
And vicious and tenacious in their effort.
Hope Evans blocked. Leah King tries to get it up in there. Corley to Thomas. She gets down low, and all she can do is save it in bounds. Shea Hayes pushing it back the other way. Pitts to Scott. Reset.
Tremendous catch by Thomas, but she couldn't gather herself enough. It was a bit of I think she took too long to deliver that pass. Maybe not a great idea there.
Madison Scott on the drive. Inside to Leah King. Ball will stay Mustangs. 3-point game here, guys.
St. John's wishes they could get that transition play back. This is going to come down to a possession by possession game. You want to capitalize when you get those opportunities.
Pitts to inbound. King in the corner. Napper on her. Fudd quickly on Pitts. Shea Hayes with a drive. She did not draw iron. That will be a shot clock violation.
I'm impressed with Delaney Thomas, number 24. She is a freshman.
She's a freshman.
Oh!
Hope Evans and Carmina Terranita are not happy with each other.
Coach Scribner's going to go nuts. The referee signaled for a double technical foul, and he's saying only one person got pushed there. One lady got a two-hand shove.
Well, that started happening the last 2 times down the
Yes,
floor.
it has.
And Hope Evans has been known to cause that kind of angst.
It's big-time basketball.
As the referees, they will get this game under control.
We said there was.
Fine. They'll be fine.
We said there were signs of a wrestling match about to break out, so here we go.
Some of the referees to clean things up, but yeah, that was in the making on the last possession. I mentioned the subtle elbow, but it's just contact. Two great athletes who are capable of staying with each other at full speed all the way down the floor. Cooler heads will prevail. Coach Oliver is making the case for his player. Coach Scribner has been doing the same for his.
You know what? As they get this thing figured out, I'll tell you what. The sign of a big-time player is, okay, sometimes you're going to go through that. Tempers are going to flare. But can you calm down and get your composure and not let that affect your decision-making or let that affect how you attack the rest of this game? It's only a 3-point game.
I think a younger player than Hope would have the ability to want to come out and go right at the opponent, make it a one-on-one situation and cause the team some issues here. But this is a wily veteran we're talking about. This is a high-level basketball player that's done it for years. She's absolutely going to be able to get her team right back into offensive rhythm, and it's just going to step her game up with the intensity of that defensive end. You know she's about to get after it.
Right, and if you turn down a player like Hope Evans' intensity, then you're not going to get the best out of her. So, you know, she's taking time. She's sitting over there talking to her coach, teammates. She'll get her composure, and she'll be ready to go back in.
So it looks like a double technical and no shots.
Double technical, no shots.
Sometimes plays like this, your team rallies behind it, and it can be a spark for your squad.
Yes, yes, yes.
They'll stay the same on both sides for the inbounds.
Well, no one's backing down, that's for sure, on either side. But this is going to be a big possession here.
Vaughn now on Terraneta. And I misspoke. Hope Evans has taken a seat. AZ Fudd blocked by Madison Scott. Lead it to Yanta Vaughn bringing it back for the Mustangs. She finds Shay Hayes, who eyes up the 3. Drives the lane, and she'll be blocked by the freshman, Delaney Thomas.
All right, the defensive intensity has definitely stepped up. Maddie Scott and Delaney Thomas
you, Hope Evans.
Recovering with 2 ridiculous blocks, both coming out of nowhere.
Inbounds, Leah King. She'll draw the foul from Taylor Napper.
That's a gorgeous inbound play right there.
St. John's foul, number 1, Taylor Napper, her first, team second. On the line, Leah King shooting 2.
Senior unable to get the first one. Remains a 3-point ball game.
You're right, Kev. Especially in girls' games, I love to watch the baseline out-of-bounds plays, sideline out-of-bounds plays. 2 very, very high-level coaches.
Yes, that's execution right there at its finest.
Yes, it is.
Corley finds Fudd. Scott will pick her up. Vaughn on Terranado. Pitch switches over. Now they've got a double on Terranado, and she's going to get called. With turnover for the Cadets. 2-point game, 5 minutes to go here in the third. Yantavon calling for the offense. Corley. Vaughn for 3. Underneath, Shay Hayes able to come out with it. Madison Scott up top will reset with Yantavon.
St. John's got caught with 4 ladies outside the 3-point lane there, not crashing the boards. You can't get the job done with just 1 lady underneath.
Mustang seems to be getting to all the 50-50 balls.
Quick hands. Fudd again in the passing lane. 10 to go on the shot clock for this inbounds play from Coach Oliver. Jay Tillman checking in for the Cadets. Madison Scott working Corley with 7 to go on the shot. She gets underneath. She'll draw the foul and 1. McDonald's All-American ties the game for the Mustangs. She'll go to the line. I believe they got Corley on that one, guys.
Yeah, she supersized that one. She took it right down the lane. I mean, that is just absolute gifted talent right there.
I mean, you can see on the replay, Scott attacking the rim with 3 cadets in her way.
I love how her jumper, her shooting motion has evolved, especially over the last year or so. That was a soft, feathery touch there.
First lead for the Mustangs is 2-0, I believe, guys.
That's a shout out to the great player development program that they have down here at McNamara.
Tillman gets to the baseline in the lane, and she is able to, I mean, strong arm it up into the hoop.
She willed that into the basket.
Yes, she did. The freshman, Yantavon, finds Shea Hayes. And then, once again, Fudd anticipating every pass. It's been her stamp on this game. Now she's doubled in the corner. Scribner gets a timeout to help his player out. Cadets back on top by 1 with 3:41 to go in the third.
That was a great timeout call right there. Saw his star player in trouble right there after a steal. Want to value possession. Said, let's not give it right back to them. Let's talk about it for a little bit.
Another shot at Madison Scott. And here's the freshman, Jay, getting into the lane. Good defense, better offense.
It's all going to be about strong moves to the basket and finishing in traffic for the next 11 minutes and 40-some seconds here. And you saw on both those possessions, both sides of the court. Those are brutal physical drives. It was like the ball was handed off to them at the three-point line and they had to cross the 5.
There seemed to be some contact on both of those drives. Like you said, they were strong drives. Let's see how these referees let it play out.
So we all know the difference this season. McNamara's only lost 4 times, guys, and all these teams are the top 12 ranked teams in the country. Hamilton Heights at number 2, Duncanville, and they have a huge, huge game against Paul VI, and they're the number 12 team in the country. It's awesome to see. And then Winston-Salem National Christian Academy, the computer has them ranked at 10. I don't know what that means, fellas, but I know this. Supposedly computers are very intelligent, and I'm going to go with that. Yeah, it is a lot of names. A lot of coverage, a lot of brand coverage right there.
Oh my gosh!
I know Duncanville down in Texas. They have Deja Kelly, the daughter of Darren Kelly. He's a DMV guy who had a great career at Texas, at the University of Texas, and I know he's very proud of his baby girl. She's headed to North Carolina, one of the best players in the country, Deja.
At the top of the three-point line. 10 to go on the shot clock. She's going to drive. Scott on her. Here comes the double.
Wow.
Three-pointer for the freshman. Strong. Shea Hayes with a great rebound. Taylor Napper avoiding a foul there smartly. Yanta Vaughn. Madison Scott from the elbow.
Can't leave her there like
that's
that.
That's the shot you said, Darren. That's the elbow shot.
You can't leave her right there.
You cannot. Maddie Scott from the elbow. They're going to see a lot of that down in Ole Miss town.
Tornado driving down low, and she's able to make it happen.
Strong move.
She's the beneficiary of doubling AZ Fudd so far today. Taylor Napper, the biggest beneficiary of those amazing passes from Fudd. Madison Scott trying to move Leah King around underneath. They're able to get it in, and they will call the contact.
They're going to call that every time right there. You got to stay straight up or get around, but you can't go halfway.
No foul, no bonus here. Fudd's going to get a breather as Delaney Thomas checks back in for the Cadets. Yantavon for 3. Good rebound by Tornado.
Hey, Kev, I believe the biggest lead so far today has been 5 points. So does this qualify as a butter popcorn game?
I think so,
yes,
Darren. I think
right?
we knew that. I knew that when I was parked 9 miles away trying to make my way into the building.
Delaney Thomas. Madison Scott playing some defense. There's the drive from Tillman. Leah King able to corral it. There's a next level pass to Madison Scott underneath from Yanta Vaughn. And Yanta Vaughn tries to stay inside Terrenado's head, and she's driving up the floor, but Terrenado getting all the way into the lane. And she'll go to the line.
You cannot half-step on the transition defense against this squad. There's no chance. Whether they beat you with the dribble or right there, a gorgeous pass. We had an excellent look at it. And with an athlete like Madison Scott on the other end of it, that's an easy two.
The senior, Terrenado at the line. Classic Coach Scribner player. We've seen her perform at least 3 or 4 different major roles in his offense since we started covering this team.
I think that's Leah Two King's 5th block, by the way.
Leah Two King, the Mustang this season, the Pittsburgh Panther to be, another WCAC star entering the ACC, where success has been had by many, especially most recently Maryland's own Ashley Owusu, who we had the chance to watch last year. What she's doing right now for the Lady Terps is unbelievable. She's coming into her own, that freshman.
Yes,
we saw it coming because we were there a year ago. The dexterity, the speed and the talent. Yes, it's unreal.
Fudd back in the game for the Cadets, so it's just a short breather for her as Pitts gets it back to Yanta Vaughn, who gets it inside to Maddie Scott. And she gets a roll, a home gym roll, hanging in the lane, in traffic. The Dallas All-American gives the Mustangs their biggest lead of the day, and there's Hope Evans on Terrenado, a matchup we'll be watching for the rest of this day and probably well into the tournament.
She's a nightmare on D, just a complete nightmare.
Corley
what
with
a move.
Great move.
Wow.
Finish.
That was very impressive.
Pitch to the corner. Back out to Yanta Vaughn. Pitch has been quiet offensively.
Yeah, that defensive adjustment is obvious.
Yep.
Coach Scribner's not going to let her just light it up.
Yanta for 3. And she sinks it. 38 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter.
Yanta has been in and out right around that rim the whole time.
Terrenado.
By the time one of those went in.
Terrenado made a great move to free herself, had an open look. I think the crowd, you could hear the crowd react to that, and she wasn't able to put it in, but good looking move for the senior.
I think the crowd also wanted a little push off in that
Pitch
situation.
for 3. She
Wow.
has been deadly from outside for the Mustangs. It's their biggest lead of the day. 2 seconds to go. Fudd with the ball. It's good if it goes. And the McNamara Mustangs turn things around in the 3rd quarter, guys, up 48-41 after 3. And it's hard to point to any one thing because all 10 players on the floor for both of these schools have been excellent.
That just escalated out of nowhere. We were just talking about Miss Pitts not getting loose in that 3rd quarter, and then all of a sudden the catch and shoot hits nothing but net. And look, this is a 7-point game.
Unbelievable move by Corley, by the way. Her body control all day long has been amazing, and her and Terrenado and Fudd have been dominant. Yanta has been getting hot. No, she's been being asked to make decisions up there, and in the 3rd quarter, Yanta Vaughn made a lot of the right decisions. Like this one right here, getting it to Aaliyah Pitts.
That's picture perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really think that Coach Frank Oliver said at halftime, those shots will be open. Continue to take them with confidence. Yanta Vaughn couldn't find one to go early, but she kept with it, kept at it, and she got that top of the key jumper to go. I think McNamara just closed that quarter with a 10-0 run and a 13-2 spurt to build this 7-point lead going into the 4th quarter. The momentum is definitely in McNamara's direction, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Johnson's not going to go out quietly.
No,
The cadets are going to have to answer instantly, though, often and early right now to get back into this thing. And when you need a quick bucket and it's a 7-point game on the road, you normally know who they turn to over there. Number 35 is going to have the ball in hand on this first possession, no doubt.
Hope Evans into Yanta Vaughn as the Mustangs start on possession to get this 4th quarter started. Mustangs on top by 7. Pitt and Vaughn picking up where they left off. Here's Pitt in the corner, and she's unable to get it go. Might be her first miss.
Yeah, that's a lucky scenario.
Corley on the drive. Cadets with numbers. Ball on the floor. They're going to call it tie-up. Possession arrow will stay St. John's. It's hard to believe the pace is going to move faster than these girls can keep up with. But they're going full speed.
I'll tell you what, Scribner knew the possession arrow was in his way.
Fudd for 3. That's good.
And that's exactly the answer that they needed.
Yes, I'm impressed with that. A lot of people wouldn't recognize that, but Scribb did not call a timeout prematurely right there. He knew he had the possession
Understanding,
arrow.
it was, yes.
Absolutely. And look what you get out of bounds play.
15 on the shot. Yonton Pitts playing two-man game on this side. 5 on the shot clock. Yontavon's got to put it up from deep. Rebound to Hope Evans. They
Long
will
shot,
reset.
long
Yep.
board.
With Fudd on top, we got Napper, Thomas, and Corley down low for the Cadets, and they are really denying McNamara chances. Leah Tu King from the baseline. She's unable to get it to go. Corley with the rebound. And she's going to be freed up. She's on the drive now. She's at the elbow. Fudd for 3.
They left her for 1 second. She's not used to being that open, fellas.
No. On the baseline, Corley for 2. 2-point game. St. John's closes it.
Great
Kevin,
move.
like you said, they did it right away.
They did. They needed to do this. They needed to come out in the first 2 minutes here and get themselves right back in it. They did.
I'll tell you what, it's not senior day at St. John's, but the senior Khalees Corley is having herself a ball game.
The Stony Brook commit on the baseline there.
Madison Scott trying to stay away from the foul.
Well, we all know it gets to be 48-41. We're not worried. We understand what happens when we're up here in the catbird seat. This thing's going down to the final possession.
Yeah, it sure is, and maybe extras based on prior experience.
I hope there's extras because I feel like I missed out on a couple minutes there early on, guys. You know, just nothing good happens at 7-11 after midnight. You know, I'm proof positive of that, so help me out here.
Well, you made it halfway up the ladder, and you had to set up base camp and make the rest of the ascent, you know, for the second quarter.
The altitude was definitely a factor.
I would love to be sitting in on these two timeouts. These coaches are having a chess match, like it always is when these programs meet each other. But to go down after McNamara closing the third quarter out was a 10-0 run, and then you come out and get the first 5 points of the fourth quarter. You know, it's a lot of high-level coaching going on right here, and great execution by the ladies.
And right at this timeout, let's see what happens, because you know Coach Oliver wants to have something drawn up here for a quick, easy bucket.
Hope Evans now up top. Pitts for 3 off the front of the rim. Madison Scott is going to get called for over the back.
Or you just get in the huddle and say, hey, let's get it to Pitts.
Yeah.
Knock it down.
Madison Scott, her second, team fifth.
She's been on fire with that pretty jump shot.
Here it is.
Scott picks up Fudd full court.
Something tells me these two might be going at it for the next 15 years, fellas.
St. John's ball, 16 on the shot clock.
This is the time and point in the game where I'd like to call my number.
Fudd on Scott, looking to set it up. She gets to the elbow.
I'll tell you one thing. I know she's coming off ACL reconstruction, but the quickness right there.
Yep. Madison Scott just didn't have position. Fresh shot clock for the Cadets. For 3. Beautiful shot as the Cadets retake the lead here in Forestville.
Darren,
it's been all Fudd in the fourth.
I don't know how you defend that, Ken. Darren, what do you do?
You can't, because when she calls for that pick and roll, even that far out from the basket, you have to get over top of that. And inside players and forwards, post players, they do not like to get that way out by half.
Yontavon for 3.
It's a great play call by Azzi. I'd like to see her do that ball screen a lot more out by the hash mark.
5 minutes to go in the game. Cadets up by 1. AZ Fudd taking over here in the fourth quarter. She's inside. Free throw line. Gets to Delaney. Put back by Taylor Napper. And it's been all cadets so far in this fourth quarter.
That 13-2 run has been answered by a 10-0 run.
Hope Evans gives it to Maddie Scott.
What a look. The rim
Delaney
run by the
Thomas.
freshman.
And there's another timeout coming for the McNamara Mustangs. As the cadets are running right now.
The freshmen, Delaney Thomas, have been impressive all afternoon.
And Uncle Mo was traded for 12 points and a ham sandwich right there.
Checking in on the timeout, number 12.
So do you go back to doubling Fudd and take what happens? Because right now she's really hurting you if you're Frank Oliver.
You have to be careful because she's good at getting it out of that double team. And if her teammates don't hold on to the ball once she beats that double team, they'll be able to get what they want. So fourth quarter, I'd be careful trapping her in that half-court situation. Earlier in the game, yes, but
that's going to be if you feel the need to take a risk. If you get down by 7, 8, 9, and they want to run someone at her and get the ball out of her hands. But I think when you got Madison Scott, you got to go with what got you here. You got to stick with Madison Scott and you know, hope for the best right there. That's as good of a defensive matchup as AZ Fudd's going to go up against.
That's right.
I'll tell you what. I know that Coach Oliver loves the length of Maddie Scott and bothering AZ, but I'd like to see him switch it up. Maybe put Hope Evans on her a little bit, pick her up full court, maybe work her legs a little bit.
I like that, Darren, because you've seen her control dribble out of a couple double teams into a safe space to make a safe pass. And you see she uses the pace with it. She gets low to the ground with it, both hands.
Yeah.
That's something that Hope Evans is not going to allow her to do.
McNamara on possession. Hope Evans bringing it up for the Mustangs. And they'll work it in the corner for Maddie Scott. They were trying to run something for Taylor. They couldn't find it. 12 to go in the shot. Hope Evans does try to push it inside, and she is unsuccessful.
That was St. John's best defensive possession of the day. The quick rotation, they had a little switch up, moving the back line up forward a little bit.
Still no free throws. 5-point game, under 4 minutes to go now.
And we're about to get a steady dose of 35.
Oh, yeah. Hope Evans picking up Carmina Tornado as she comes over the timeline.
I'll tell you, Darren, player development, Caramina's handle has come a long way since last season as well.
Yeah.
Home crowd thinks they got it wrong, but this ball will stay St. John's.
I think the home crowd has a point, and they're going to have a conversation. And it's been reversed. Now they got it right.
McNamara ball down by 5, 3:41 to go in this game. First break of the fourth quarter that the Mustangs have gotten. Shea Hayes back in the game. She gets down to Taylor from the elbow. Aaliyah Pitts fighting for that rebound.
Great catch by Hope Evans.
Shea for 3. What a save by Taylor Gibson. She's almost to the cafeteria. She had to find her way all the way back onto the floor. Corley from deep.
Not a good idea there, guys. She was feeling it. She's had a couple good possessions. Hadn't gotten the ball back since she scored.
And she recognized that. She said, my bad, my bad.
Big smile on her face. She gets it.
Mustangs still trailing. Trying to solve this St. John's zone.
Coach Gribb calling for the hands to get more active in the passing lanes.
Yeah, they were able to get a deflection on the left.
Oh, wow.
Delaney Thomas with the block, and now she's going to unable to make it fall. And it's going to come back. Pitts now pushing back for the Mustangs. She finds Shea to Madison Scott, who gets down. And she's able to get a big bucket, and that's what McNamara needed. It's their first points of the fourth quarter with 2.5 minutes to go.
What a turn of events right there.
What a move to the basket with pace and a strong finish.
Great block by Delaney Thomas. A lot of work, everything but the basket. McNamara turns it around. There's the double on Fudd to get the ball out of her hands.
Nice
and there's
look.
Napper all by herself. Cadets stay up 5. Hope Evans pushing for the Mustangs.
There's your risk reward with the double team on Easy Fudd, guys.
Yep.
You're right.
Pitts for 3.
And there's number 3 for 3. She wears the right number, obviously. That jump shot is absolute pure.
Pitts keeping McNamara in this game.
That top of the key jumper has been open all afternoon.
And when she shoots it, it hasn't hit the rim.
Tornado gets down low. Leah King with a big rebound. McNamara pushing. They're down by 2 with 1.5 minutes to go in this game.
Smart, smart, smart. No reason to not take care of it right now with 20 seconds on the shot clock, 1:30 to go.
If I was Pitts in that transition play right there, I'd have been hunting that three-point line. We call that 2 for $1.
Madison Scott finds Pitts in the corner. She
did I call it, Kev?
Yeah.
Unable to get it to fall. Cadets.
Yes, you did.
Stay up 2. St. John's will call a timeout here.
All shooting minds think alike, my friend.
Oh, we've got a barn burner here.
Everything you want in a high school basketball game, and here's Pitts pushing it up, and Maddie Scott asserting herself.
It's a great finish.
Body control, no charge. This is good work by Delaney Thomas. She's having a great game. The freshman, number 24, she's been showing up in every phase.
She's a major factor. I love her poise out there. She's not afraid.
That's a great point. I was just going to say that she didn't have things go her way that time. She got the block and went all the way down and missed the layup. They came down and hit a basket on the other end, but she kept her poise, kept her composure, and that quick high-low, big-to-big action right there is as good as it gets.
Yep. Made the right play with the ball, and that looked nice.
All right, guys.
From a freshman.
Timeout is going to come to an end. We're going to have about a minute to go in a 2-point ball game. I believe we got 27 seconds on the shot clock as Coach Scribner is going to look. I think we all know who's going to get this ball and who's going to be in charge for the Cadets right now.
Yep, the premier matchup in the nation today, maybe in the world in women's basketball, is happening right here in Forestville at McNamara's home court.
I like it. I like it, Kevin. I can't disagree with you at all.
Tell you what, we all know who's going to get the ball. But the thing is, when your star player goes out, your young players grow up, and your supporting cast step up. So he has a balanced attack, and he has supreme confidence in all his players.
And you guys understand I'm talking about this matchup, not these two schools.
Absolutely.
I don't want any bad emails. I'm talking about Madison Scott versus AZ Fudd.
That's right. And we're getting it right now. Napper and King continuing to fight.
You cannot give her space.
The three-point, a rare miss as Pitts comes down with the rebound.
That was a big defensive possession right there.
You got to find Pitts. Nice job by the senior Carolina Tornado recognizing that.
A lot of patience for this team, this McNamara team. Yanta Vaughn on top for the Mustangs. Gets it to Leah King. 9 on the shot, 8 on the shot.
It's getting a little stagnant. Someone's going to have to make a play here.
Yanta Vaughn driving. And they're going to get it. Fudd on the elbow. It's going to send Vaughn to the free throw line.
I think the way the ball came off of her hand made the man wearing the stripes
Sure.
feel like there was a little bit of contact, but from where we are, which is right above the action,
It looks like
they might have missed one there, boys.
You
That might have been a home cooking call right there.
Hey, now, come on.
It's a big 2 free throws right here.
Nothing but net on the first. 25 seconds to go. Mustangs down by 1.
Poise.
Yanta Vaughn, the sophomore.
Poise.
At the line.
Poise.
All right. That's huge.
We're looking at a final shot
Oh,
from
yeah.
the ace.
AZ Fudd will have the last shot of this game. You got to figure they'll hold for it. Tip my hat to the sophomore classmates of our 2 brand new friends, JW4, and our main man, Marcus. You guys, we'll get you in on this timeout. What are you thinking?
Shaking.
Are you okay? You guys are going to be all right?
I can't breathe. Oh my goodness. I'm not even playing. I'm not on the court, but you can feel the energy. You felt the
Hey,
everybody was holding their breath.
Yes.
And that's your classmate at the line, class of 22.
Yes. I had math class with her.
Yeah, we had math class. I'll tell you what, that was the calmest 2 free throws of the day.
Yes.
And they were the biggest ones of the day. Are you gonna be all right? JW we had to hold him up. I mean, you guys look great, but I mean, you're falling apart right behind us here.
It's crazy because I was just talking about before. You don't really, as an announcer, you have that passion for it, but you're not really like, oh, they won, they lost, well, I'll go home. But when you're actually a student and you want to see them, even if you're the announcer, like as an announcer, this is an amazing game. There's a lot of passion, but as a student, I can't breathe right now. I'm biting my nails because I don't know which way this is going to go. I mean, I hope it's overtime so we get more of this game.
That's right.
Oh, man.
That's right.
But it's whew.
All right, here we go. Set it up. We got shot clock is turned off. Cadets with possession. Arrow belongs to the Mustangs. Fudd with the ball. Madison Scott on her, picking her up full court. He's going to let her bring it down. 20 seconds to go in this tie ball game as Fudd working on Scott. Terranado with Hope Evans guarding her. Corley back to Fudd. 12 seconds. Scott out. Yanta Vaughn. There's going to be a rebound to Taylor Napper. She gets down low. She's unable to make it go, and it's going to be a charge, I believe. I believe they're calling a charge on Taylor Napper, and I don't know if that's going to, I assume it's going to send someone on one-on-one.
No player control. This is going to be a possession.
A possession, okay. Thank you, Kevin. I couldn't see that underneath, and I wasn't sure. Arrow does stay with the Mustangs. The coaches are thinking it's a shot, but it's not. We will have a timeout on the floor with 3 seconds to go in a tied ball game.
Yeah, that's a player control foul.
There's the foul on the floor. You're right, guys.
Yes, Hope Evans seemed to be there in time with her feet set. That was a great defensive play right there.
So now we will get a final shot. Okay, quick hitters, guys, just like at the basement. Who's taking it for the Stangs?
Yanta Vaughn.
Yanta Vaughn, Kevin?
Madison Scott.
Madison Scott, I'm giving it to number 3, Aaliyah Pitts.
I have Pitts as well.
All right. The student section has spoken, and the Mustang section has spoken, I guess.
You've got 3 seconds left. It's going to be hard to get 1 or 2 passes off. I'd like to see him get Yanta Vaughn going downhill, trying to get a shot up as soon as she crosses half.
And don't get caught watching the paint dry.
Don't get caught. There you go, Coach. Senior. Shea Hayes to inbound. It's coming down deep. Madison Scott gets it. She's behind the three-point line for the game. And guys, we got our wish.
Extra. Read all about it.
It's all we do. It was a great play, good pass.
That was a great play they designed. That ball seemed like it was in the air for an eternity.
It sure was.
Thrown to a spot just like a fade on the football field where only Madison Scott could catch it.
We saw, I believe there was a 2-man pick.
You know, that's right up your alley.
Also, yeah.
Oh, I would have loved to have had Madison Scott on my side on the gridiron. That catch radius. That's a red zone nightmare.
She was able to get the in here. Well, so here's the highlights of Corley, who's had just an amazing game. Maybe a little quieter in the fourth quarter because this player right here, number 35, AZ Fudd, decided to put her team on her back. Remember, they started this quarter down 7 guys and quickly turned that around to a lead. Before McNamara came back, what was this? Guys, help me out. McNamara got back into this on the strength of what? Their defense
and Pitts from deep.
And Pitts.
She hit the 3 to put them up 48-41, and we thought we were looking at a situation there where McNamara might run away with it. St. John's goes on their own 12-0 run to jump right back in it, and here we are.
Pitts pushing it. There's Madison Scott. She's had this play a couple times today.
She could have got an and one on that one.
Yeah,
too.
she could have. And again, tip our hats to the refs who've been very consistent for the most part all day. I think there's been a couple calls we think could have gone both ways, but for the most part, they've been swallowing that whistle. Thomas and Scott, midcourt. McNamara controls. Yanta Vaughn, sophomore, crossing the timeline. Just under 4 minutes to go in the first overtime of this game.
Guys, I would have had no chance on that jump ball right there. Did you see how high they got up in the air for that? Athletic girls here.
Fudd on pitch. King inside the paint.
Big board by the freshman. Great look for Leah, too.
Tornado gets low, draws the contact. It'll be a foul on Leah Pitts.
Senior guard play right there.
Yep.
Crunch time, go get the foul, get to the free throw line where she has a great, great percentage.
All you young players watching this, the way she broke the first defender down, came to a jump stop, got her body under control, and got the defender up in the air. Worst case scenario, you're shooting 2 at the free throw line, hoping for an and one.
She beat the closeout with that quick little move to the basket after she came to the jump stop.
Got a timeout on the floor. I take this opportunity to implore all of my fellow Mustangs watching this game today, all of Kevin's fellow cadets watching this game today in our communities, do us a favor and subscribe to First Amendment Sports. It's a free subscription. We'll be in many gyms throughout the year, but we're going to be in one next week, American University, covering the WCAC men's and women's tournament. You're going to have Kevin Rickett, Darren McClinton, Tim Strachan, and myself there all day long for 2 days of amazing basketball. Help us out. Join the party. Join the conversation. The greatest high school sports conference in the land. It's not close. It's not close.
No, the kids never let you down in this conference.
Oh, we all know how the atmosphere is going to be next week. Some conference tournament.
I think it's the premier tournament in the country.
Without a doubt it is. Tornado for the first. Calmly hits an overtime free throw.
I'm so impressed with the poise of these young ladies.
I agree.
These are big-time free
Yes.
throws. They're not even touching the rim.
They're not. It's
a senior for
like
Scribner.
It was nothing on both ends.
Tornado drawing Pitts on the wing. As Vaughn and Hope Evans switch it up top. 15 on the shot clock. Just over 3 minutes to go here in overtime. Cadets up 2. McNamara trying to find a way in, and there it is to Leah Two King. She's at the elbow. Quick 3 for Vaughn, and that's a huge bucket for the sophomore class of 22.
Clutch.
We watched Yonta Vaughn grow up last year during her freshman year, and now this is in her sophomore campaign. She is lights out.
Corley and Fudd working up top together. Vaughn trying to find her man. She got a little lost there. Hope Evans guarding Tornado, and it gets back to Fudd with 8 on the shot for 3. She's a little bit off on the right-hand side. I think, Darren, what'd you say? Someone opened the door on that one?
Somebody opened the door.
It's a little bit off. Quick shot, though.
Guess what? I'll take it, and I'll take another one from her.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, just got to get that door shut. Everything will be fine.
Shut the door. Hope Evans, Yonta Vaughn inside to Madison Scott. She's down low and she can't get it to fall. Fudd the other way. Taylor Napper able to get down there and beat her. There's Delaney Thomas. And that, I believe, will be on Madison Scott.
What a defensive play on this end by Taylor Napper.
Oh, yes.
Dealing with Madison Scott coming at her full tilt. She went straight up and got a deflection that got the rebound to a teammate.
Is that Scott's 4th that I hear?
And the freshman steps to the line.
Big time made
Net
by
pieces it. Right.
Huge free throws.
The skill level and poise of these young ladies is so impressive.
1-point lead for the Cadets. Possession arrow is theirs. McNamara with the ball, 20 on the shot, down 1, under 2 to go in overtime.
This seems to be kind of a boxing one on Pitts.
Hope Evans for 3. Leah Two King on the baseline, and they're going to get it off of Tornado, and it's going to stay McNamara ball. I couldn't sort that one out here, guys, if I tried. It looked like it was off of about 3 different players.
That ball was 3/4 of the way down.
Hope Evans has not been able to get those to fall today. That's about as open as you can ask for. Oh my goodness. The entire gym just swallowed. I mean, come on. It was like a gasp. Mustangs down 1 here.
They are getting the looks that they need.
Yes,
that,
they are.
That look by Hopers, like you said, as wide open as can be. Looks like St. John's has got 4 ladies spread out all across a little 1-4 set with someone at the free throw line.
Vaughn with the huge.
Trying to get to the corner
overtime
wing and
three.
stop the closeout 3.
I think it's a form of a boxing one.
With a pack line, little look to
yeah,
it.
but where Pitts was, it seemed like it was a 1-4
Yeah,
set.
Vaughn to inbound for the Mustangs. Let's see what Coach Oliver's calling here. Leah Pitts quickly to Scott. Hope Evans will set it up top.
Wow, Scribner got out of that real quick, so you can't design a play for it.
Madison Scott driving the baseline. And I don't think she hit her head. I hope she didn't. Went down a little hard. She'll go to the line. That's going to be on Taylor Napper.
I think she grabbed her head like, oh, I can't believe I missed that.
Yeah.
She's a warrior, though.
I believe that's Napper's 4th. I mean, you play overtime, foul trouble is going to become a thing, depending on how many of these we get. Based on our entertainment, though, man, let's just wipe all the fouls away. Just let them go.
I've always said it. I think people think I'm nuts, but I'm done with people fouling out. We didn't come here to watch Madison Scott sitting on the bench, guys.
Nope.
We didn't come here to watch AZ Fudd have to sit out the last few minutes of the first half because she got 2 fouls.
Or
That's
Taylor
not what
Napper.
happened. I'm just saying.
Yep.
Take that out of there. Penalize them with free throws all day long. I mean, that hurts too, but let them play.
McDonald's All-American has to collect herself at the free throw line. We're still down 1 here in Forestville. The Mustangs are. With 1 shot to go. Tie ball game. 1:33 to go. Corlett into Terranado. And Hope Evans is going to pick her up. These guys know each other, I believe, guys. I think they know each other.
Like the back of their hand. Got to get through that.
Fudd from deep. And
Stop
that
it.
was a
Stop it,
great
man.
shot. Oh, my goodness gracious. If she's
barely
going to make that.
Barely a blip on the heart rate monitor from deep.
The ball spinning perfectly through the. And Yanta Vaughn with the answer. Can't get it to fall. Leah Tu King fighting for that rebound.
Oh.
Both teams in the bonus. Look at the dagger.
3rd on King. I mean, that's NBA range and a half. What's after NBA?
When you got a shooter of that magnitude, the last one was an air ball, a little bit off right. And remember I said I'll take that and another one? She gave me another one.
Yep, and they shut the door.
You have to have a short-term memory when you're that type of player, man. You can't.
That jab step release, I mean, there's nothing you can do. There's nothing.
Cadets extending their overtime lead to 4 points with just over a minute to go.
And I know Twitter Nation has seen that shot over and over again. She's had a couple videos where she's put on a shooting display for the ages.
And once she sees that one go down, I don't think she's going to be shy about the next possession. Within the frame of the offense.
I think her good friend Steph Curry would appreciate that one. Under a minute.
20 on the shot clock. Leah Pitts to Madison Scott. Shea in the corner for 3. Can't get it to fall. Rebound goes to Leah Tu King. Yanta Vaughn. Leah Pitts for 3. Yanta Vaughn for 3. McNamara unable to get a bucket. And Madison Scott will draw contact. That'll be Taylor Napper, I believe.
3 straight offensive rebounds.
5-point game.
That's Napper. Is that 5?
I believe it is.
That's going to give McNamara even a bigger advantage on the boards for the last 31 seconds. I'll tell you what, they horsed it up. They got some wide open looks, but it's a two-possession game. Whether you get the 2 first or the 3 first doesn't really matter, but.
Great game for the junior forward for Military Road. A real major reason why the Cadets are in the position they're in at this point of the game. She's been foundational on that floor for them all day long. Madison Scott cannot get the first one to fall. She stares at the rim. Makes the second, 31 to go in a 4-point game. Cadets on top.
They're going to do a little offense to defense. Maddie has 4, right?
Yep. Tornado inbounds. There's the foul. Came pretty late. 20 seconds to go. Tornado will go to the line for 2. And Scott will check back in for Coach Oliver.
Oliver would have wanted that foul a little bit earlier. You heard him bark out. That was too late. It's going to be a long 20 seconds, though.
Checking in for the Mustangs, number 24, Madison Scott.
Timeout, St. John's.
Guys, I had a story I was dying to tell you guys, and now we got a little time for it real quick. St. John's manager Colleen Koch has recently been offered the position of manager at UConn by Gino Auriemma, who came down here and actively recruited. They're coming out of nowhere to recruit our managers to be their managers in this conference.
That's
How
cool.
about that deal? She's a starting goalie for the St. John's soccer team. I got my sister Jamie ready on my research team. I want to thank her for this. But how cool is that? They had a meeting. Gino comes down here, meets with her, loves her style, loves her skills, and has invited her to come on up to UConn and do the same thing for the Huskies.
That's huge.
I mean, come on, man.
Wow.
Scholarship?
Scholarship, brother.
That's
Go
he
ahead,
gets
have
an
it.
education out of managing. That's pretty cool.
Congratulations to
Well,
the young lady.
And that's, by the way, that's
That's
a
big time
career.
right there.
You can put a roof over your head and food on the table for your family. You can do that long term, and that's why they start doing them here in the WCAC. No one does it better.
Why not? The WNBA will be coming after her next. She does her job well, boys.
Following the footsteps of Vinnie Morin.
Our conference is so good. Yes, our favorite manager here. Our conference is so good, they want our managers.
Tornado gets them both. Cadets up 6 with 20 to go. Yontavon pushing. Madison Scott gets in the lane. Leah King gets a 2. 13 seconds, 12 to go. We're down at 10 seconds to go in the game. St. John's up 4. There's the foul. I believe they'll get that on Madison Scott, and she will be done for the day. AZ Flood will go to the line in the St. John's students section who did travel here from Military Road.
Hey guys,
Starting to feel good.
When AZ Flood tore her ACL, and we were talking about what would happen this season and her coming back, I think this is the game that puts them on the map. I think this is when they have said, all right, here we are. We've gotten to play together for a couple weeks now. AZ's coming into a little bit of basketball shape in the conference. Not that she wasn't in great shape as it was. You guys know what I mean here. This is a huge, huge momentum burst for the season for the Cadets heading into the tournament.
Yeah, that's what we talked about that a little bit before, Kevin. What does this game mean in terms of leading up to the tournament? Certainly, St. John's getting this win, it means a lot. It means a lot for the cadet program because you gave that win-loss record, not exactly indicative of the team we're seeing. As Yontavon, the teardrop in one to close things out. And here in Forestville, in Bishop McNamara High School gym, on your First Amendment Sports featured high school game of the week, the St. John's Cadets come into Forestville and take one for the Bishop McNamara Mustangs. Your final, 68-64. I want to say thank you again to Lou Holder, Paul, and Olivia working down, helping us in production all day. I want to say a special thank you to Marguson, JW4. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. We will be back here. We'll be seeing you guys very soon.
Very soon.
Make sure you check us out at First Amendment Sports YouTube channel. We will be broadcasting the tournament next week live from American University.
Next Saturday.
on behalf of First Amendment Sports, he's Kevin Ricka.
Unbelievable. I cannot wait till next weekend. And thank these young men up here. Dressed sharp, brought some class to our situation and a ton of knowledge. It was a lot of fun doing it with you guys. Thank you.
He's Darren McClinton.
Man, what a great game. What a great game. And this is just a preamble to what we're going to see next weekend down at American University.
Let's say he's Marcus. Marcus Goodley.
Yes, sir.
Send us out.
Well, it was an honor. It was definitely an honor to be included. Definitely more hands-on than I thought. And I'm looking forward to hopefully working with First Amendment Sports in the future.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. JW4, you gonna be okay? Gonna hold you up? You gonna be all right?
I should be good.
All right.
I know
all
my
right.
parents are listening right now.
Well, we appreciate you guys, and we'll be back. And until next time, I'm Ken Marangolo, and this is the WCAC, and ain't it spectacular. Thanks, everybody. Tough basket.
Very tough. A lot of teams.
And that three is good.
You're going to see a lot of that.
From the corner is Hayes. And that's good for three. McNamara answers are now down. Gibson. Fudd with just an amazing looking three-point stroke. Going through Fudd, gets it to Naber. Great looking pass. Thanks. I don't think Pitts has come out yet. There she is for three. And I'll tell you what, she's looked comfortable no matter what with the nylon right now.
She's